Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Thursday, July 25th, 2024. It is the day of Jupiter. It is the day of the hearth. We have a waning gibbous moon. We are in the midst of Leo season, the Celtic tree month of Holly, salmon season, Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde, and Pluto retrograde. So all sorts. Now, our sun today is in Leo, a fixed fire sign representing achievement. The moon is third quarter Pisces, mutable water, representing artistry. Then at 9:31 a.m. Central Time, it does go void of course. But we won't have to wait long. It'll be 9:52 a.m. Central Time when it will enter third quarter Aries, cardinal fire, and that represents being temperamental. So again, expect a pretty significant mood shift today. Mercury begins the day in Leo, fixed fire, representing ideals. And then at 5:42 p.m. Central Time today, it enters Virgo, a mutable earth sign representing efficiency. So this is going to be quite the combination between the moon and Mercury today. The moon is going to get impatient, and Mercury is going to be interested in all sorts of, let's just get the job done and worry about everything else later. What could possibly go wrong? Anyway, moving on to Venus. Venus remains in Leo, a fixed fire sign representing to be ardent. Mars is in Gemini, mutable air, meaning to be pugnacious. Jupiter is in Gemini, mutable air, representing questing. Saturn is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, meaning to redefine dreams. Uranus is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing renovation. Neptune is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is spiritual awakening. And Pluto is retrograding in Aquarius, fixed air, meaning to examine intentions. So now for the retrograde reminders, very briefly. For Saturn, reevaluate goals, reconsider commitments, reclaim your authority. For Neptune, reimagine your dreams, reclaim your sense of mystery, reclaim faith and magic. And for Pluto, reclaim ability to regenerate, reconsider what deserves your energy, and release attachments that do not serve you. And for the moon phase, for the waning gibbous, remember to cleanse, banish, and break malevolent spells. And now for the exciting Aries moon. Your dues are courage, brainstorming, and promotion, to either be accepting promotions in your status, possibly at work, or to be promoting your progress. Your projects. Get yourself out there. The don'ts are conflict resolution. You're not going to be good at it today. Not with the moon phase, and also not with Mercury moving into its position later on today. Routine duties. And this, I think a best example of this would be to point out paperwork. If you're having to do paperwork, please do it before the moon moves into Aries and save yourself some aggravation and avoid sharp objects. That's just good advice for any kind of Aries placement generally. So, on this day of Jupiter, Jupiter has been happily buzzing along. It's looking for an adventure. It wants to go out and do and experience all the stuff that's new and exciting and fun. And now we have the Aries moon that is very sportingly adding its fuel to that project right alongside the Virgo Venus that wants all the things to take place in a swift and organized fashion. So while you are going to have to watch out for some unnecessarily combative energy in the coming days, nevertheless, time to press forward on your projects is now. Just try not to alienate anyone. Now for today's tarot, we have the Magician. Think skill, diplomacy, being able to address people publicly, public speaking, that sort of thing. Sickness, pain, loss, disaster. That's the other side of the coin there. But it also represents a self-confidence, will, the alchemist, male practitioners of magic in particularly, but anyone who practices magic broadly. But essentially, the Magician is working with the creative forces of the universe. We see all of the tools laid out there on the altar. He's holding his wand aloft. He has the infinity sign above his head. He has the cup, the sword, a staff, and the pentacle on the altar in front of him. He is surrounded by nature. He's taking in all of these energies, and he's working out his will with them. So with the Magician, it's both an encouragement to seize your agency and get things done, but also to be aware that perhaps not all of your ideas are the most brilliant thing ever. So think things through before you act. What you set in motion can be very difficult to undo. So that's just, kind of the encouragement and the warning of this particular card. Now for today's Celtic Triad, it reads 3 things by which we may know our neighbor. that he is poor, that he is a stranger, and that he is in the image of humankind. So this particular triad is essentially the pagan answer to Abrahamic religion's question of who really is my neighbor. If those of us who came back from a Christian background, they'll remember this parable between the Good Samaritan and the person who stopped the person who helped the person who was injured on the road versus all the people who should have stopped but didn't. This is essentially, the more pagan view of that particular issue. So whether someone is lacking in financial means, whether we know them or we don't, as long as we see the visage of a human being, that person is our neighbor. And so the main idea is to have a general policy of civility, graciousness, and benevolence towards other. Now, if someone has demonstrated that they have ill intent or that they're actively doing bad things to us, that puts them in a different situation. That's no longer our neighbor. That becomes an enemy. But someone who is meeting us in goodwill, that is someone who is our neighbor, and there's no reason not to treat them properly. Now for today's magical intention, it is determination. Again, we have an appearance of the lovely color red. The plant today is the allspice, the animal is the beaver, and the crystal is the red agate. So stiffen your resolve with a bit of a dash of magic today, especially with the current astrological climate. If you have any kind of break in your will, bolster your determination with one of these correspondences. It could be something as simple as wearing a red shirt today or carrying a red agate crystal in your pocket today. Or putting a bit of allspice into your coffee this morning. There's various ways you can work with these correspondences to make yourself feel a bit more determined so that you can make the most of all of the energy that's in the air today. So for today's practice, honor a hearth deity. That's what we do on Thursdays. You might work on your throat chakra. Ask yourself, what lesson have you learned from studying your Jupiter sign? Write a prayer to a hearth deity and do some magical cooking. We have so many magical properties with the foods that we eat each and every single day. And it seems like such a terrible waste to me to have these energies present and not give them a job to do. I mean, they'll still act in the way that is natural for them to act. But if we give them a job, we give them just a little bit of direction, we can get so much more benefit from that energy that's floating around in the air anyway. Waste not, want not. Now for today's journal prompt. Find a spot outdoors or alternatively find a really pretty picture to inspire you today. And then just write in a stream of consciousness fashion whatever is coming to your mind when you're looking at what your scenery or a picture that you're finding, like the picture I brought you one today. And then go back in a couple of days, review what you've written and see if anything stands out. The nice thing about writing a stream of consciousness is that sometimes it allows things in the unconscious mind to rise up to the surface if we're not allowing the editor to interfere too much in the actual writing process. So just see what you can do, come back in a couple of days, and then you might be picking up on some information that, oh, that's what my dreams have been trying to tell me, or that's what my divination spreads have been trying to tell me. This is just another opportunity for the universe to get a message through to you. So that's what I have for you today, gang. Come back tomorrow for the next edition. In the meantime, let me know what you thought of this one in the comments section below. Have a fantastic Thursday, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.